Yeah. Wake up with coffee and sports. Sunrise glow, listen coast to coast. A flow like you know.
Offensively, who made them? Oh, Patrick Mahomes.
Sideline to sideline with plays to show. This network's got the spark.
When you put up 300 yards rushing against someone, that you got your butt whooped.
I feel like I would have liked to see Oregon, Ohio State in the semis, not the quarters. So I think some reseeding is probably where I would change. But
they're out of their mind. They're going to do this 3 quarterbacks in a row.
Here's the crazy.
I just can't take it.
Birds keep flying high, fans cheering loud, and one podcast moving through the crowd. Meaty Boyz brawling, no holds barred bout. This wire life never in doubt. Tune into the vibe.
That's my bold prediction for the show. Devin Booker, in the next 3 years, he will be a Houston Rocket.
Because I still think Seth is still at the top of his game. I do. I think he's right there. Who knows? Maybe. Not this year, but one time soon. Why wouldn't we potentially see Seth and Roman? One more season, you know what I mean?
Tune in the vibe.
Gardner on the mic tonight. News coming in left and right. More better with the latest fight. Gene's got that insight tight. Champions rise and they fall. Wire to wire, got it all. Every movie, every brawl. Tune in for the curtain call. Wrestling talk all night long. Catch the latest match and song. Ring the bell, let's get it on. Every story bright and strong. In the ring they clash and roar. New rivalries and so much more. Titles change and legends lore.
What's poppin', y'all? It is your boy, Cardi3, and welcome to the Meaty Boyz podcast, where we discuss all things wrestling. And of course, joining me, he is the greatest co-host of all time. He is Mo Betta. How you doing, Mo?
Doing great. It's Monday night, so you know what we're doing? We're talking wrestling.
Absolutely, Mo. And I figured we're going to kind of kick it back a week because, we didn't get to talk about Elimination Chamber yet because I happened to work last Monday. Say, Mo, what do you think about Elimination Chamber as a whole?
I'm curious what they're going to do because obviously there's been a bit of a shakeup. I didn't have a problem with who won. I'm a big Randy Orton fan. I'm just wondering going forward what that means for him, obviously, when he gets to Mania. I thought the Elimination Chamber of the overall pay-per-view, I thought it was solid, but I've seen better. You know what I mean? It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the most entertaining either. I expected a little bit more. I really enjoyed last year's Elimination Chamber, and I would say that this year's Chamber didn't really live up to last year's.
It felt like it started off so well. Like, if we start, right at the beginning, I thought the women's chamber match was great. I love what the women provided in that chamber match. And then to follow it up with the Becky and AJ match, I thought that was really good. It feels like that. It was really after the third match. So like mainly I feel like it's the main event that's, at least in my head, that's causing because it was going so well. And then it just feels like that with all the different run-ins they had in an Elimination Chamber match for like the 5th year in a row. I don't know. I feel like they just need to change the formula for their chamber matches, if that makes sense.
No, I'm with you. That I think that's what got me. So many people get involved. I'm like, well, we're just gonna let anybody come in, right? It felt like that, and like I said, the formula that they had for last year's Chamber was a strong formula. If it ain't broke, they'll try to fix it. I think the women held up their part. I just thought the men didn't necessarily hold up their part. I knew, I think everybody knew that when Rhea and Io dropped the tag belts, you knew, at least I knew Rhea was going to win Elimination Chamber. I knew she was going to win it. And I honestly, I didn't mind it because I feel like we talked a lot about the kind of opponents that could make Jade look better in the ring. Someone who's as strong, someone who's as intimidating. I think that's a good idea. And Rhea is a lot better in terms of in-ring performance too. So I think she can make Jade better. If the goal is to make Jade into a monster, if you will, then Rhea is the perfect person for that.
And Rhea's a lot of fun when she wrestles with like another really strong wrestler, because then she just starts doing stuff you don't get out of her weekly.
Right.
So, 'cause normally she's the one that has to be, the powerful base for everybody to work with. But, you put her with another powerhouse, that's when we see her busting out a bunch of different creative moves. So, I definitely enjoy that they went with this route, because now Rhea has some, freedom to get creative here. 50 Cent, TI would main event WrestleMania if Vince was still in charge.
Oh yeah, they would main event, and Travis Scott would be the special guest referee. I agree.
Oh, I think Vegas might ride if they hear Fiend again after last year.
But yeah, look, I think. Let me ask you, because everything centers around WrestleMania. How did you feel about them turning around and having Cody take the belt off of Drew McIntyre on SmackDown? Because that felt to me more like a panic move or a redirect. I think you mentioned it to me before where they were talking about sales weren't where they wanted it to be. Maybe Drew just isn't a big enough star to draw people, but Cody clearly is as over as anybody can be. But how did you feel about them putting the belt around him? Because when initially I thought, I don't like it. I'm not saying Drew's the perfect champion, but I didn't like it that they put the belt right back on Cody. Unless you're going to tell me they're going to get really creative and Cody's going to go there and it's going to be a triple threat match for the belt. And one of those guys in the triple threat match with Cody is Jacob Fatu. You do something like that, I'm interested.
Yeah, at first I thought they were setting up a fatal four-way between Drew, Cody, Fatu, and Randy, but I wasn't necessarily a big fan of, the way that Drew lost. It just feels like they should have had a better and longer run. So, which is why I felt awkward, giving it to him when they did, because Cody was involved in their world title plan some way or another. So, like I said, I personally didn't like the way it ended, and I guess I'm a little confused as to if the end game really was just have Cody walk into WrestleMania as champion, then why even bother with the whole segue? Oh look, he Drew's champion now. Cody was the plan for going into Mania. Just let him hold on to that title going into Mania.
Yeah, I think they're making a mistake with Cody that they made with Charlotte Flair years back. You can be almost over to the point where people turn on you and get sick of you. I think Cody's walking that line right now.
We're starting to get to that. It almost feels like we're starting to get to that point where, like you kind of said, when John Cena started getting those mixed reactions.
Yeah,
it feels like we're getting into that middle portion Cena part of the timeline here, where he remains good, but everybody starts to turn on him.
Yeah, look, and I'm a Cody fan, but I just thought it is okay to have Drew be the champion and one of the younger guys like Fatu take the belt off of him. I actually think that would be big for WWE to put a younger performer over, or a newer performer over, if you will. But I am also with you. I'm torn because I feel like Drew has been the big star that no matter what, he's always the big star out of all the huge stars in the WWE. He's always the one that seems to get screwed over more times than not. Like his runs, he doesn't have real runs. Like at one point, I think they have to give Drew McIntyre a real run as heavyweight champion. If you're not going to let him have a run at it, then give him the belt, give him one of those mid-card championships, make him US champ or IC champ, and let him hold that belt for a year or two. But you got to give him a legitimate run. He's always been the one that's like just bent over and put another performer over. I guess he's waiting for his turn for somebody to put him over.
Yeah, and say I'll be curious what the next move is with him. Say, how's it going, gamer? Say, yeah, and I'm curious what the next move is with Drew, because yeah, it just felt like if the plan was always to have Cody be champion into Mania, just let him. Don't even waste your time with the middle title reign. Just let him carry it into Mania. But I hope they do Drew justice. I know apparently the rumor is he's off to film a movie after Mania, so. But I just hope for all the hard work he's put in, he gets a good title match.
Yeah, he's due one for sure. I agree.
Say we got of course the maybe the funny part is maybe the most controversial part of the chamber though, Mo, was the opening of the mystery crate because
God,
they speculated it and we finally got the answer after 3 weeks. Danhausen was indeed in that crate. Now I don't know how you feel about it, Mo, but my initial take was I feel like Danhausen will grow on people. However, that was just truly an awful way to bring him out there.
he might grow on people, but the initial introduction to the world, the WWE world, that stunk. That was horrible. We said it before, like don't let that be a person. Don't try to convince people. Yeah, this person just sat in this big ass box and rotted for 3 weeks. Like, come on, man. The idea is so stupid, and they went with it anyway. Like every now and then, Triple H and creative, they get really, really lazy. Like that kind of idea that reeks of Vince McMahon.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Like I think Danhausen's already starting to grow on people, but the thing is, the last time he was in a match on AEW television was 2023. So we're at a point with him now that for anybody in that WWE universe, to even know who he is, they'd have to either really keep track of the independent scene, or have to have been a really big AEW fan like pre-December of 2023. But yeah, say shock debuting him to a crowd that really wasn't going to know who he was is interesting to say the least.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. Give it some time. He might grow on people. But they could have introduced him in such a better way. So the transition was so stupid. The idea was stupid. I have to believe that multiple people within WWE thought that was a dumb idea. Like it wasn't as dumb as the Shockmaster. I don't think nothing ever will be, but it was dumb.
No, absolutely. I'm looking forward to. You know what's funny though? I know it'll main event and everything, but I'm not really looking forward that heavily to Cody versus Randy at WrestleMania. Like I don't know what it is, but Randy likes to work at such a slow pace, and Cody kind of just will probably go right along with that. I feel like we're gonna have like another kind of like how fast the Cena versus Cody match was going before the Travis Scott interference.
Right.
I think we're bound for something very similar for Cody for Randy. So it'll be interesting to see if they prove me wrong. But I feel like by the end of the night, you'll be like, yeah, I mean, Cody and Randy was fine, but look at the women, they stole the show again. So,
and the difficulty is this. I'm a Randy Orton fan, but this is older Randy Orton in his 40s, and like you said, he goes at a very methodical pace. It's slow and deliberate. This isn't the 25-year-old Randy Orton that was athletic and quick and was doing all kind of. So it's different, and I don't like the matchup just because I know the pacing is going to be slow. I want that energy, or at least somebody. If you're going to make him methodical, then put somebody. The thing about it is, if you make put a methodical wrestler into a bout, you're going to have to bring in somebody that's either physically bigger and stronger, and they're more methodical, and then he becomes the smaller guy to make it work. But I don't like the pairing, so I hope the ultimate plan is that matchup becomes a triple threat.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at too. It's like I think both of them are great individuals. It's just I don't think the pairing is going to be all that great. Like they've met up once during Cody's return run here, and I that match really didn't knock me out of the park. It didn't I didn't have me asking for round two, but hey, like I said, I'm hoping they prove me wrong and knock it out of the park. But I think the women are going to have a better match. Say wherever Liv Stephanie is, that's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. I agree. I'm excited for Mania because I do think I don't think the women are going to disappoint us. Even though I've been a little critical of Jade, I think that Rhea Ripley, if there's somebody that's going to bring out the best version of Jade Cargill, it's going to be Rhea Ripley.
No, that's fair. And you know what's wild though? I see reports of them saying they don't know what's going on with Gunther yet. To me, it's shocking. You'd think they'd have something big planned for him, but what do you think of the rumors that they don't really have anything finalized for Gunther yet? Just a couple weeks away from the show.
That doesn't make sense to me because I'm like, he's a legend killer. Gunther's on a roll. Whatever you feel about him, he's a legend killer. And to me, the obvious matchup is staring you in the face. Even though I'm not a huge fan of this guy, the guy that you want to match up Gunther for Mania, it's Brock Lesnar. That's the matchup. It's Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. And yes, Brock is overpowering and all that good stuff, but Gunther can be methodical and wear you down and put that sleeper on you, and it's a wrap. I think it actually will be an entertaining matchup. I hope they make that match. I don't know what they say. They don't have anything for Gunther. What's right there? Whatever you think, it's right there. Unless they're leaning towards putting Lesnar up against Obafemi, but I wouldn't do that. I actually think that the Gunther matchup for Lesnar is a better matchup because Gunther is a much more skilled in-ring performer right now. Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, that would just be a series of them throwing each other all over the ring. I don't know how much wrestling there would actually be.
Yeah, no, not a ton. Otherwise, if you want to keep like the career killer thing going, maybe another possible name, Rey Mysterio. He's getting near the end of his career, so that could be another viable name you could tease about ending his career.
I didn't even think about that, but that's a really good idea. I mean, not that I'm pressing for Rey Mysterio to tire, but let's be honest, Rey's definitely on the other side of his peak in terms of being like a main event performer. Like at this stage of his career, he's a mid-card guy. And if I had to guess, Rey Mysterio is probably close to 50.
Yeah.
So look, realistically, it's closer to the end than anything else. And you're right with the moniker of the Legend Killer. The guy that should, be his final match, it rightfully should be Gunther.
Yeah, say retiring at WrestleMania against Gunther, or there you go. Maybe that's how you can debut a new opponent for him. Maybe somebody saves Rey before he gets fully beat down. But I'd say, it's interesting. I really thought that out of all people, I thought Gunther would have had a match like locked down by now. But I guess with the injuries to Braun Breaker and everybody, they had to move some stuff around.
I mean, I get it. A lot of things have been thrown out of kilter because of Breaker, and then Brunson Reed is injured. And although Rollins came back, we don't quite know Rollins' overall status. I still don't think he can actually be in a main event or anything like that. I could be wrong, but I guess we'll find out. I'm hoping they're going to add a few more surprises because the thing about WrestleMania is it's supposed to be bigger than anything else, and it should feel like that all the time. Like the last two WrestleManias, they felt like a WrestleMania. You got the big stars, you got the great matches. The women were terrific. You had some run-ins, but the run-ins didn't dominate the show. Like, I don't care if you bring back somebody from another time to do a match or guest star or make an appearance. I think all that kind of stuff is good, and all that kind of stuff should be on the table. Obviously, Punk versus Reigns is easy. That's going to be intense. Definitely going to be into that. I am most concerned about the other heavyweight championship match, Cody versus Randy, because like we said, that's going to be the pacing might throw people off. I think you have to add another element to that match to make it exciting. I think Rhea is going to be fine. I think Liv Morgan and Stephanie McCourt, I think that's going to be an amazing match. That might potentially be match of the night.
I'd almost argue that say let that match main event night one.
Yeah, that might be match of the night, because that's going to be a terrific matchup. And like I said, the advantage is to Liv. Obviously, when you're the heel, you've got a deeper bag than the face. I'll be honest, as a fan, I would be upset. I would be stunned if Stephanie McCourt walked out champion, only because Liv is obviously a bigger star. And it feels like to me, Brett, and I don't know if it feels like to you, but it feels like to me that Stephanie McCourt's championship run, they've never really found her a rival or gave her any big matches. Like she was a fighting champion, but I felt like her run was kind of stale.
That's fair. Stephanie McCourt is such a good wrestler, but it's so weird. It's almost like half the time, as soon as the WWE creative recently has been like kind of solid at booking people to like winning the title, like you're going to be champion, and then as soon as they win it, they just have no idea what to do with them after. So I'm not sure why either, because they did the same thing with Julia won the title, then we didn't really see much of her. Jade wins the world title, then she wrestles like once every 4 months. So
yeah, and that's what I mean. I mean, Stephanie wrestled a lot, but she didn't wrestle any of the top performers, if you will. Like you could have put up against Tiffy. I would have watched that matchup. You could have put her up against Charlotte or something. I'm just looking for direction and what creative had in mind for her, because they just kind of dulled it out. The first real challenge is going to be obviously at WrestleMania when she goes up against Liv, and I think it's going to be a great match. But my gut feeling is that's probably going to be the end of her title run.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Like I said, it's like I get wanting to make championship matches special, but at the end of the day, we're still gotta defend them occasionally on free TV. Not all the time, but you gotta give us one every once in a while.
Right. It's not just the emergency one. Like he wins the belt, and then they go, you know what? We need to run it back. You and Cody on SmackDown. Okay.
Yeah, I know some people are teasing Drew McIntyre versus Nick Aldis. So I'm like, that would be a direction. Like, if I'd be kind of annoyed if I was Drew, all of a sudden go from a potential world title match to feuding with the GM. But I guess that's why you pay him like a couple mil to shut up, right?
If you want to see Nick Aldis take a beating, yeah, go ahead and make that matchup. I mean, I know Nick used to be in the ring, and he's not a little guy. I don't think that would be that good a matchup.
No, I agree. That does not sound like a fun matchup. They'd only let it probably be like a 5-minute squash match. At that point, let's find a good matchup for Drew that's, hopefully can get more of an active performer over. Say, let me some Nick Aldis, but
yeah. Drew's unique, right? Because he's not a natural in terms of being a face. So he's almost always the heel, which, by the way, he's a good heel. But unlike other top heels, he loses more than he wins. I mean, like I said, he's a great company guy. He's put a lot of people over. And he's bided his time. I'm just wondering when is Drew McIntyre going to get his shot to be like the guy?
Like, so hopefully soon. Maybe. Let's say I was hoping it'd be this WrestleMania, but now maybe we'll have to wait for WrestleMania 43.
And I'm wondering if they're going to bring in some of the younger talent. Is Trick Williams going to be part of WrestleMania? Carmelo Hayes. They keep bringing over Femme out to squash all these little guys. I'm waiting for them to bring him out to where somebody who can actually like give him a match. They've put him every match he's been in has been a squash match, so he's yet to be challenged.
So I'm curious to see if that continues for WrestleMania. That will be very interesting. So I hope he's at Mania. Just even if it's honestly with a squash match. I know that's what we're doing with Oba right now, but honestly, I'll take a squash match for Oba at WrestleMania. Or yeah, I definitely need Trick Williams there though. Trick has to be at WrestleMania. That'd be a sick whoop that Trick.
Oh, look, Trick already has the crowd, like they're with him. So yeah, you got to give him. He's got to be there. Maybe he's the opening match, but yeah, I'm a big Trick Williams fan. Like I said, I'm hyped. I know you're hyped. I'm always hyped for the build up to WrestleMania 2. I didn't think the promo between Rhea and Jade, it was kind of that doesn't mean they can't get better and get a really good promo in. But let's be honest, Jade was never that great on the mic to begin with. She's very Lesnar like, where I feel like Jade, she needs a Paul Heyman type, right? She needs an advocate because she's not, there's a lot of skills that wrestlers have to have. She's not that good on the mic at all.
Yeah, and that's fair. I thought the promo between the two was kind of didn't come off as very natural. It just a very weird promo. I'm honestly not sure why like that's the route you go, considering Jade struggles. So I wonder. I'm guessing they'll adjust from that going forward. Probably won't have her in front of the live crowd as much cutting promos. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting decision. I didn't agree with it, but
yeah.
Now I'm curious to see if they'll go back to that a couple more times.
Is there a female version of Paul Heyman that I don't know about? Because maybe that's what they need. They need a female version of Heyman. I'm not saying that Heyman couldn't be Jade Cargill's advocate, but I'm just saying that it's interesting because the ladies do everything as well as the men. But I've yet to see a manager who was a female who was, I guess, the equal to Heyman, if you will. And that's, I shouldn't say equal to Heyman because he's like the GOAT of it. But I'm just saying, are there, even if it's like a wrestler who maybe is an older wrestler, but they could be more of an advocate for a younger wrestler. Like I like the new personality of Natty, right? Natty the heel. Who's who super aggressive? Like maybe Natty could be a manager.
I feel like Natty could absolutely pull it off. There's one thing about Natty is she's very flexible and with different roles within WWE. So she just went from a happy-go-lucky babyface to a ruthless heel, and like I said, at this point, I don't doubt that Natty could absolutely pull it off.
She's done everything. She is the ultimate company performer. Got people like her, Miz, just the ultimate performers for the company. I think Natty could pull it off too. I agree.
Yeah, saying shout out to hey, Bailey started that one seminar for women's wrestling, and I think she was down in Florida. That was pretty cool. Say it was like free classes for a bunch of different women, like. Just overall, I thought that was pretty terrific too.
That's pretty dope.
But that's all I had for us, guys. Sorry, I was at an anime convention, so that was a lot of fun though. I dressed up as Nacho Libre. It was very wrestling themed.
And if you guys haven't seen it, he's got some amazing pictures of him dressed up like Nacho Libre. It's awesome. If you haven't heard of Nacho Libre, and I'm sure some have, but if you haven't, just go to YouTube and pull it up. It's a hilarious Jack Black movie.
No, absolutely. I'll be posting the pictures on social media and all over. So hope you guys get to see it. Anything you want to add before we get up on out of here, Mo?
No, appreciate you guys for joining us. Short, abbreviated show, but it's always a blast to hop on. Make sure you guys check us out later on this week. We're for And1.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be on Thursday at 8 for And1, and it's going to be a great time. That being said, we thank you guys for tuning in and hope you enjoy the rest of your night.